Hello, welcome to this video. In this video we will see everything that has been done since last significant video on TaackUI framework. So first, on the website you notice we have a news menu entry which lists all new features coming into the framework with slideshows and graphs, so it's fancy, you can read it. We also merge install and first app pages into one usage page. We fixed the search layout on the website using the default search engine from TaackUI. So here you have what we call the faceting page, the faceting information. For example, we can filter out everything that is not French language, and then see apps menu entry, and we can narrow down quickly the search this way. We also translated everything in French, as you see here in this page. So the default page is always the English version because it's supposed to be more up to date, but in fact now the French version is really the same. Even the slideshows has been translated, so you have the same menu entries as in English version. And Chinese version will come later this week, next week. Before digging into new stuffs, I would like to point out that now IntelliJ is working perfectly with Wayland, which is a nice thing for this IDE. And so we will the TaackUI plugin is already up to this version, working with this version. Another new stuff is now we use Bootstrap as a theme engine, so it's the framework is by de facto easier to customize. Before we use pure CSS, it was limited and there was more or less components, so we mixed Bootstrap and pure CSS. Now we get rid of pure CSS. We keep it, we use 100% Bootstrap for PDF and web rendering. In fact, it's easier to customize, and also it allows you to adapt the theme according to your preferences. So you can here change the theme of the application by choosing either a different color scheme, or a different component sizes. In fact, you can also follow the desktop theme, the desktop color scheme. In fact, another benefit is that we replace string concatenations with an abstract syntax tree to describe the DOM, the document object model of the web page, which is, I think, faster in the end than than appending strings, even if it's difficult to make differences. About tables, we also improved the DSL describing the table. So it's a little breaking change, but it goes in the good direction, so I think it's not a real issue. So here we have a table. I go to index method. So in the index method here we define the filter and the table. The table can be called either in a full screen here, or in the context of select another object to link two objects together. So if we look at this method here, index, we can see the table, the code corresponding to the table. And now in this code, we notice that we use what we call iterate expression instead of a loop over rows. We use iterate, which defines the row. So the closure to it defines the row is starting here. And the parameter for iterate is a tag filter, which allow complex parameter passing between the code and the iterator. So here we pass a filter, which can be a secure filter, or here it's only a filter to manage the access rights of the user. We also define the maximum number of lines accessible from this table and the default sorting order. And we also need to build to pass the parameter, the type of object we want to list. The type is user here. So we get the user list according to this filter, and we iterate over each user. So as it was before, we use row colon, row field, but now there is row action instead of row link. It has been updated to be more to follow the naming convention we use elsewhere. That's it for the tables. In order to simplify the DSL, we also now use a common way of expressing the layout. So the block layout and the form layout is now the same. If I look at this form here, we have 3 columns and into 1 row, and this is very simply described into the code. User. So in fact, the form is here, is described here, and we have a row with 3 columns. It's directly visible on the screen. So this is the same here. The 3 columns will have the same width, but we can change the width, the default width, by using the block spec width expression. We can do half and so on. So we can have 3 half column and so on. Here we have, in this block, we have in fact two blocks inside 2 inner blocks. One is 1/4 of the page, and the other is 1/4, and the other is 3/4, I think. Okay, that's it for the layout and the forms. Among other things, we can also talk about the menu layout. So now the menu includes the translations, this entry here, and also the layout has been a little bit improved. The text menu is here, the icon action is just close to on the right, and by convention we prefer to place the actions on the left of the search box if present. So the search box is also explicitly declared. It's not implicit to have a search box. So I think it's simpler than before, and also the menu layout has the benefits of other layout of other DSL is that in this DSL, in all DSL we use what we can only put expressions defined. We can only we restrict the symbol scoping of each closure used on all the DSLs. So this benefit also for the menu DSL. Last but not least, I think there is one another benefits of using this latest version. The latest version is that now we don't need adjust block anymore into a block. We can use it for complex layout, but it's optional, and before it was mandatory. So it simplifies a lot the code, and this benefit comes also with the fact that in links you are not you don't have to say if the target action will be an Ajax action or not. So it simplified a lot of use cases. Here, for example, if I look at the table, if this table has actions, this is a recursive table. In this table, here we have raw actions, and there is no latest parameter telling if the target action is an Ajax action or not, which was very complex to explain to newcomers. So now you don't have these parameters, this simplifies a lot the DSL we use. That's it for all new stuff we have built so far in this framework. I hope you will get used to it, you will be happy to use it, and you won't have too many problems. Thanks for following.